fine.
Can I get it back?
If you double click on your picture. Okay.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمة الله التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي. ربنا هب لنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم نور قلوبنا بنور الإيمان والقرآن والإسلام. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين.
We're going to be reading from the book, The Reasonings, and the section, The Element of Belief, and essentially what is the second paragraph on that page, starting with while this elevated on page 1. While this elevated proclamation is the basis of Islam, it is also the loftiest and most luminous flag waving in the heavens. I'm going to repeat the statement real quick just so that it's recapped for everyone. So the statement that it's referring to is, in the name of God, the all-merciful, the all-compassionate, I bear witness that there is no deity but God, and I also bear witness that Muhammad, upon him be blessings and peace, is his messenger. Okay, continuing. The belief, which is a pledge we gave to God in pre-eternity and through which we are bound to God, is epitomized in this sacred proclamation. And Islam, which is the pure water of life, has its source in this pure spring. This proclamation is an eternal royal decree given into the hands of those who among humankind have been appointed to the palace of eternal happiness, which they have been promised. It is also the luminous map of the heart, which is the spiritual faculty given to humans by the Lord, the King of eternity, to know and make him known, and to believe in him, and as a window that opens on the worlds of the unseen. Furthermore, it is a fluent orator. I'm not familiar with this word. Orator. What does it mean? Okay. Furthermore, it is a fluent orator presenting the mysterious, eloquent oration of the conscience to the whole universe, and an eternal decree at the disposal of the tongue, which is an eloquent herald of belief, announcing the eternal sovereign to the universe.
The proclamation is the testimony. It's well known. And I bear witness that there is no deity but the Lord of the whole world, the creator, the owner of the whole world. And I also bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. So that's the proclamation. The most luminous flag waving in the heavens. It is an how do you say,
Figure of speech.
figure of speech, yeah. Figure of speech. It is a luminous flux. In the heavens, it means, I mean, everywhere, yeah. But you can see the effect of it in everywhere, in every part of the world. There is no need to go into why why text uses the word heavens rather than earth, but it is something heavenly. It is something higher than the earthly, worldly purposes of life in this world. We studied this, the humankind have been appointed to the palace of eternal happiness when we discussed the resurrection, the subject resurrection. We emphasized on it a lot, that's also studied. Now, when this phrase, and as a window that opens on the worlds of the unseen, of course, we should be careful when we say unseen. It means what this universe, what this type of existence refers to, or what are the signs we can observe or we can experience in this world. They are the signs to the existence of something that we don't see here in this world, but necessarily it points to the existence of something else. That is the meaning of sign. So this something else is described here with the word unseen. We understand this, I think, when we say there is no deity but God, and we are talking about something unseen, God. But how do we know? Through there's no deity. If there is no deity, we understand that deity means the one which gives existence to everything. There is nothing in this world which gives existence to anything. Here, we also see that. We discuss about it a lot. So there must be another source for human logic that this world is produced by this another source. This source of existence is the unseen. That's what I understood. So, eloquent oration of the conscience. This is to the whole universe. Creation of the eloquent oration of the conscience of the whole universe. I think what we should understand from this expression, this piece of the sentence, when the prophets come with messages, this message speaks to conscience, human consciousness. Not consciousness only, human conscience. Conscience represents what? I mean, I would say conscience represents to be honest to one's own being, one's reality, conscience. Not to deviate it, not to distort it. Conscience, what human reality is as it is. However you describe it, doesn't matter. But we have to understand that what the messengers, or what message the messengers bring to us should be addressing to our conscience, and our conscience shouldn't reject it. It means there should be no contradiction between human conscience and the message. That's why this eloquent oration of the conscience to the whole universe. Because we have to understand that human beings have senses, so the capacity of the senses and the diversity of the senses is so wide that it includes everything in the universe. We should understand from here that that human beings are created with the capacity to connect with the universe, and human capacity is expected to work alongside with the universe without being contradicting. Of course, why we repeat this a lot, but I think we shouldn't avoid from repeating it because it is a repetition. We should be careful that if we are here in this type of creation, if I am conscious of this creation, and if I am interacting with this creation, there must be a reason. Why? How? First, how come that I am fully interacting with this universe? Fully means with all my senses, living in this world according to the conditions of this world. My feelings, human feelings, work alongside with the universe. Then the universe means the material appearance of the world. Everything, for example, I may have feelings, but these feelings operate where? Within the universe. These feelings within it. They operate within the universe. It means in connection with the universe. That is so essential that we should definitely keep in mind that if this universe has a message in its existence, it means the universe is a sign to something. Human beings must be able to decipher the signs. Otherwise, for example, if I am not able to detect a sign, I cannot interpret it. It means nothing to me, as if it doesn't exist. Right? It doesn't exist for me if I am not aware of it, if I have no sense of it. But I have the sense, and the universe has the qualities, and I am in connection with the universe. Through this connection, I am enabled to interpret, to understand what the things in the universe point to as signs. They are all meaningful. As far as the human consciousness is concerned, they are all meaningful. Now, in this connection, in this junction, human beings and the feelings and the universe has meanings, and through human qualities, we can interpret the meanings. And if someone says, I have got the news from your creator, who is the creator of the universe, what do you expect from this news? Welcome. That's nearly come, but okay, be comfortable.
That it must hold true to my observations as well.
Yeah. So it should not contradict to my detecting the meanings from the creation. No?
No, because you said my detecting
Yeah.
of the meaning from the universe, the moment, how I understand it, the moment I put my, it includes or it adds in additional factors that I am subjected to.
Oh, no. No. Don't go, but there is no need to go into this side of it. As I am qualified.
Okay.
It means as I am made.
Yeah.
So my being is endowed with certain qualities that detects the meaning in the universe. No, I'm not saying as an agent, as an subject of the man. This is me, I am into my being, because conscience represents human feelings. Conscience, all the collection of human feelings is represented by the word conscience. Yeah, sometimes it is used as heart, but conscience is human conscience is very important. So through this conscience that we can understand what they mean, what they refer to, or what did they tell me. So if someone comes with a speech or word or news telling that this news is from the creator of the universe, what does it mean? I should take this news and apply it to the meanings that I extract from the universe, and there should be no contradiction. But in this process, it means the news, the universe, and human abilities to interpret the signs in the creation and also understand the news from the creator of the universe. We should bear in mind one point here, because human beings are given freedom to accept what the conscience says or to go against it. We are not bound to follow what the conscience says. This is a typical example that is not very widely used actually as an evidence, but it's a very important evidence. Describe it in the Quran. It's very interesting. In the Quran, In the example of Moses, now let's go to the story very short. Now, only one side of the story. Moses' story has many sides. So God asks in the story, God asks Moses, go and speak to Pharaoh. You can say Moses represents conscience, Pharaoh represents human ego, but ability to deny, not to accept, reject, as the Quran says, jahada. It's a very interesting word. Rejects and tries to disprove what is true. Just to make himself make himself look, his choice look right. That's human beings. We can do that. So what Moses does in the story, of course, conscience goes and speaks to human caprices, egocentric analysis, which is prone to reject the truth, go against his own conscience. Now, Pharaoh and his people in this story, and it means what? My ego and all my tools to misinterpret or reject the reality, listening to me now, what the conscience says. Now, all my human feelings listens to Moses. The Quran uses an extremely important phrase which is not very widely used. That's why I wanted to put it, if I can remember it. وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ. Quran makes it so clear that what Moses told the assembly of the Pharaoh, human egoism, although they were yaqeen, they had yaqeen. Yaqeen means definite certainty about the truthfulness of the message, they rejected. Because, look, it's a very important subject. We have to understand ourselves as well and understand the psychology of the people who deny, who confirm the truth or what. Now, the Quran uses mainly two words, but there are other zalim, it means transgressors. What the main word is to describe human caprices or misuse of human freedom with the word munkir, denier, or to deny. Be careful with this. Another word is kafir. Everybody knows it. I think even the non-Muslims heard of it, kafir. Because of some political reasons. It is famous in the media, the word takfir, the group takfir, takfir group. That's why they are familiar with the word from there. Now, both words, we have to be very careful. Both words, whether denier or denying, or kufr also covering up the truth. Right? Be careful with the word even in English. It is the same in Arabic. Denying. What is denying? Now, in order to deny something, what is expected of you? To know it. If you don't know it, you are not a denier, but you are ignorant. Now, for example, my famous pencil here. I put the pencil here. You didn't see it, right? Because it's behind the, whatever you call it, screen. Now, do you accept that there is a pencil here? What do you say? No. But are you denying the existence of the pencil?
It's existent but absent.
But you don't know. No, it is here. But you don't know that it is here. You are not called denier. That's why in English, what do they say? What do they say? They don't say, if you, for example, if you receive an, that's the simple one, or accusation in the court, they don't give you the option to say that, are you denying it or accepting it? They say, are you claiming, what do they say? Claim not guilty. Look, they don't say deny. Because in order to deny, you, for example, I am in the court and I am a thief. So in front of the judge, I said, I know I'm a thief. I have stolen something. So in front of the judge, I say, no, I am not a thief. I haven't stolen anything. What did I do? Did I plead non-guilty or did I deny? As far as I am concerned, which one did I do? Deny. Kufr also is covering up the truth. The truth is I am a thief, right? But in front of the judge, I say, no, I haven't stolen anything. I am, again, kufr, denying it, rejecting the reality. If someone did not know about something and does not accept its existence or anything, whatever the subject is he a denier or is he just a person who doesn't know it? Which one? Sorry? I don't know what it is.
Somebody who doesn't know?
Yeah. Is he a denier?
No.
No. You agree? No, he's not a denier. Now, the Quran makes it clear that if someone is not aware of the reality of something and thus does not accept it, it is not a denier, it is not a kafir, it is not a munkar. Right? According to Quranic language. That's what we don't understand. We see that the people, mostly, who do not accept or prescribe to the message of the Quran delivered by Muhammad, the big label is there. They are kafir. Do you understand? They are deniers. They are not. They don't know. In order to be a kafir or in order to be a munkar, denier, both the meaning almost the same. You have to know it. That is why, in the example of Moses, Moses spoke to the assembly of Pharaoh. It's interesting. Take it to yourself. The assembly of Pharaoh is all your senses together, represented by conscience. Now, if it is assembly of Pharaoh, represented by your egoistic attitude. Now, if the message comes to you, استيقنتها أنفسهم, because when the Quran says, Moses, go to Pharaoh and show him 9 signs. Ayah. But the number 9, don't forget about it. It's something else. Signs, let's say in general. But them, or the people, or Pharaoh, definitely were aware of their truthfulness, but they denied. That's what's going on in us. If someone doesn't know or doesn't want to know, that is the option. We have to understand that human beings, when they understand something is true, it does not necessarily mean that this person will accept it. Confirm it. It's very interesting psychological analysis. I was amazed really with the description of this Quran. It doesn't mean that, for example, you made everything clear that the person is convinced about the truthfulness of it, but it doesn't mean that he will approve it, he will confirm it, and subsequently submit to it. No. Still, at the end of the day, everybody is free to confirm the truth or not. That is why the Quran always reminds us, but through the example of the prophets, your duty is to convey the reality to human beings, no more than this, because they have the option to accept it or to deny it. It is up to them. The Quran says, why do you force people and force yourself? You remember that the verse in the Quran, you are really tearing yourself off that the people should accept the true message that he is bringing to. And the Quran says, is it your duty to make everyone in the earth to become a believer? They are free. I created them free. It means I am free. So I have to check myself. Look, am I really being biased about my decision? It means I don't want to admit it. Although I know it is true. Yeah? But I don't want to admit it, although I know that. Your conscience knows that it is true, and we have to pay attention to our choice. I understand doesn't mean I confirm. I have to check myself. I have to check myself. This is the most subtle part of human being. We think that if we understand something, we will confirm it. If we don't understand something, we will deny it. No, it is not the case at all. If we understand the truthfulness of something, we don't have to confirm it. If you don't understand something, but not if you don't want to understand something. Because you know that it goes somewhere, so I don't want to understand this one. Go other ways to interpret, in order to justify my shunning away, avoiding from accepting the reality, because I am free not to accept the reality as I know it. As I know it. Because it doesn't mean that if I know something, I will accept it. That is the subtle point. We should be very careful about what? About ourselves. as far as other people are concerned, we should just let them become aware of the truth. As far as we understand, no further. Because you cannot really change people's free will. And you cannot really control people's free will. You cannot affect people's free will. But artificially, you can speak to them with an emotional language. Usually people do that. So they get, when they are under the influence of this emotional atmosphere, they may say, yes, you are right, but in practical life, no. They don't really accept it, or they don't really confirm it. So they may not. We have to be aware of ourselves. Now, it means, conscience means to be honest to oneself. That's our main responsibility. Our main responsibility is not really learn the truth. Main responsibility, check our own free will. Whether am I misusing it, or I am using it in the right way. Check ourselves. Because the Quran also, the universe is clear. It is everywhere, the evidence, everywhere. The Quran also emphasizes that the truth, the haqq in the language of the Quran, haqq is, truth is clear, mubin. The explanation of the Quran is clear, obvious. Nothing is ambiguous. It's obvious. Everything is obvious. What remains to us? To be honest to ourselves by watching out about my own usage, practice of my free will. Because the trick lies there. Trick lies there. If you say, I'm not going to admit, I want this way only, right? If there is a sign saying that this way is wrong, what do? I'm free not to take notice of this sign and try to distort it as much as possible in order to justify my decision, my choice. I don't know whether you find it very interesting or, as I am excited about this, whether it makes sense to you, because everything is there. The message of the messengers, or the message from the Creator, is very clear. The message from the universe is very clear. The message from human reality, conscience, is very clear. What is left? Our excuses not to submit. I can do that. That's why I think you must be aware that I keep saying, if someone neglects in analysis of any subject, whatever related to belief, of course, neglects one point. What is that? The neglecting point is free will. For example, you make a lot of explanations, etc. And then, did you understand now? Did you understand now? It doesn't mean that you understood it, but it doesn't mean that you have to accept it. You have to find other round ways not to run away from it. You can do that, so to run away from it. We can do that. if someone does not pay attention to his practicing free will, this person will never get the truth. That's my conclusion. Always. He may know the whole Quran, he may know a lot of things in the creation of the universe, studying the universe, going into the details of the fine creation and obvious signs that they cannot happen by themselves. It doesn't mean that they have to accept at all. The first thing is, let's come to this point. The most important thing is free will, not knowing the truth. Knowing the truth comes second. Do you get it? When I use this expression, the Quran says, they denied the truth knowingly. Knowingly. What you can deny? We think that if I present the truth, the reality, to the people, or to a person, to my friend, to my brother, sister, or whatever, to my relatives, if I present the reality to them, clearly, definitely they will accept it because it is so true, obvious. No, not at all. Understanding comes second. We have to pay attention to ourselves about this subject.
You said understanding comes second. What's first again?
Free will.
How can you apply free will on anything if that element such as knowledge or consciousness is
Pay attention to the free will rather than paying attention to understanding. Primarily.
So wouldn't that be consciousness first, and then or consciousness?
No, consciousness is there. Consciousness is there, but even you are conscious of the reality of something, you don't have to accept it. You are free not to accept it. So when the Quran says, speaking to the Prophet, but to me, as a reader, your duty is nothing but to convey the message, and that's it. Why? You cannot force people. But there are obvious verses in the Quran. You cannot force people. Why? It means you cannot force me. Why? Because whatever the evidence, how bright the evidence is, how obvious the evidence is, doesn't matter. What is important? My free will to accept the truth or not. What am I doing? I have to question this. What am I doing? Am I really getting myself ready to confirm the truth or not? This relationship, if we pay attention to our free will and try to be honest in the practice of our free will, the rest is very easy. To see the truth, really, you don't have to struggle a lot. No, you don't have to. It is so obvious that we are created, come on. So we are made. No one can say that I am not made if this person is honest to himself. But they can claim not to accept it for many other reasons, but primarily egocentric or extended egocentric. For example, they say, for the benefit of our nation, extended egocentric analysis. For the benefit of our family. Yeah? Or in order to exercise my freedom means really not to accept that this person himself, herself, is not created. Yeah.
So in the context of the wording in the first paragraph about a luminous map of the heart, right? Something that gets, we only see things because light falls on it, right?
Yeah.
That's the reason why we see things. So somehow light illuminates a part of our consciousness and brings to us knowledge, or shows us knowledge that exists. We just become aware of it, right? In terms of what you're talking about, I feel like there's a free will in this case, which is you're exercising at the point of questioning or searching in the first place. You choose to search, and when you come to it, then you choose again to confirm or not confirm. If you don't choose to search in the first place, then you would probably be a denier constantly because you have denied that there's something to search for.
In fact, you don't have to search. It's always there.
But our process is of one of finding.
Oh, looks like
Of
what
opening.
finding. What
There's
is
window,
finding?
there's open, there's like this thing of something there and then just being illuminated.
Now, there are three teachers in this context, in the context of the first paragraph. One is careful universe that I'm in contact with and getting news. The other one is my creator's verbal explanation of the truth of this world. The other one is your own conscience. Yourself. So, what are you going to search actually? According to your intention. It means intention is a problematic word. I always say I shouldn't use it. Your decision how to use your free will as far as the message you receive from these three sources at the same time. If you didn't know anything, let's say a person is blind, a person is deaf, right? Totally uneducated. Don't you think this person knows that he exists? And don't you think that this person is given the ability to question the source of his existence? Huh? He has not seen anything. He has not experienced anything from the world. Doesn't matter, because the conscience is within us that makes us human beings. Otherwise, if there is no conscience, it means somebody is mad, from creation. He's created in a way that he cannot really think about it. He's not responsible for anything. For anything. Because he cannot use his free will under control. Yeah. So, inshallah, there is no mad person. So, as far as we are concerned, we have to watch out for our free will. Now, for example, if the free will, my practice of free will is the pivot for my progress in understanding the truth, why do I come to this class, for example? Yeah, why should I come? I have a good intention, that's not. According to the direction of your free will, you are collecting more evidence to confirm your choice. That my choice, I'm ready to accept what the truth is as far as I can see. Right? I'm not going to deny at all under the influence of other considerations. Now, let me go on the right path and collect more data to convince all my feelings. That's what we need to learn. That's what we need to learn. If someone ignores his freedom in choosing, it means that he has free will. And starts collecting information. What is happening here? Wasting his time. There is no need to bother. Someone doesn't want to admit. That's why Moses is asked to go to Pharaoh, speak to him, and the Pharaoh didn't accept it. Okay, I'm going to take the children of Israel to save from your dictatorship or tyranny, from your tyranny. Right? And left. He didn't insist to convince. No, why don't you accept? It is not so true. It is not so. No. If someone doesn't want to accept reality, don't waste your time. Yeah.
So just wanted to elaborate more on, you said that there are three means, like the three teachers were like yourself, the universe, and the scripture. So they're all given to us. I understand our feelings and our consciousness is given to us, the universe is given to us. As far as the scripture is concerned, should we just accept it's given to us? Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to understand the
Look at
conjunction
scripture.
between.
There must be a scripture for you.
So that's what we're searching for, basically.
So for scripture?
Whatever makes sense in terms of.
If you reason in the right way that, look, since I'm made here, since I question the reason for everything, why they exist, so the one who gave existence to them must explain it. So search for it. But what was the point that I was trying to make? While you are searching for the verbal explanation from the maker, it means we call it handbook, manufacturer's handbook, explaining how to use the universe, how to use myself, the guidance. Mm-hmm. So how looking for the guidance, before this I have to check my intention. Why am I doing that?
Okay, so we search for guidance.
My free will.
Right.
So you search it, but at the same time, some people may not think about it. Let's say those people who or don't think really, they have not heard anything about any religion or the prophets or the messengers. They don't search for it. They just go along with the evidence they see from the universe and their human conscience from himself. They just come to certain conclusions. That's their responsibility. That's the field of their responsibility. But you and I are aware, and definitely aware, that this universe is so meaningful, and the maker of this universe must really explain why I am here, why it's there, what is expected of me, and I have to search for it because I'm aware.
So you're saying the two teachers, the universe and myself, are not enough to
No,
help?
not necessarily not enough. In order to progress your consciousness, your awareness of your existence, the meaning of your existence, you get more information, not extra information. We emphasize on it. Quran doesn't give extra information. Quran is a help, is a guide. It explains and helping as a teacher. Tells us, and it tells us what the reality of these sources are. It means two sources now, the universe and human conscience, human feelings, what these sources are, and making it easy for me to go through my journey, the teacher. For example, if you don't have a guide, what you have to do in order to understand what is where in Manhattan, you have to go there, make lots of mistakes, but at the end, you know what is happening there. Yeah. So, for example, you are looking for a place. That's to sit and If there's no guide, you understand that there must be a place I can see it and understand myself. You look for it here, there, but at the end you find this is there. But if you have a guide, if someone says, if you ask somebody who knows it,
Saves you time.
so you can go directly to this way 3 blocks and turn right, and there's a small, well, not big, there's a small park there. Oh, it's easy for you.
It does saves you time, but at the same time, if you don't have the guide, it also teaches you because you're learning from your mistakes. You're like, okay, so next time I know how to do this way. So.
But wasting why? If you are aware that there must be a verbal explanation from the Creator,
Oh, if I'm
why don't you
aware,
look at it?
how would I be aware that there's a verbal explanation?
Really, you are aware now. I am aware. You are aware.
What do you,
There must be
how?
something. I am aware of it. I look at the universe. I look at myself, and also the reality out there. The reality out there. There are some people who claim that they have verbal explanation of the for the purpose of the existence of this universe and the purpose of your existence. Why should I turn blind to it? I know that. But those people who live, I don't know, somewhere that they never heard anything about it, they're not responsible because they don't know. So in order to be denier what we said, we have to know. And then deny it. If we don't know, we cannot deny it. We cannot become a denier.
So we are all born knowing that there must be a verbal speech. Is that what you're insinuating?
It is innate, but it needs to come out through some news that we hear and there, some means. But if there is no means which will remind me that there must be a verbal explanation, I don't look for it. I don't know. I'm not aware of its existence. So think about yourself, not other people. I am aware that the universe is so meaningful and there must be a verbal explanation for the purpose of this kind of existence and guide me, give me guidance and teach me how to make it easy for me to follow.
Just a follow-up question. So let's say you are born in a certain religion and
it is something different.
So should I be aware that, hey, I gotta follow this guy?
No, not at all. It is a cultural thing. It's nothing to do with...
So my question is, how do you become aware that there must be such a
yourself, in your conscience, it is there. You heard, for example, that, let's assume that you are born into a Jewish family. You heard that there are prophets historically, how do you say, sequently? Or one after another?
Subsequently.
Sorry?
Subsequently.
Subsequently, one after one. You heard this. And you are born into a Jewish family. So you found a certain culture. What you have to do, as a human being, using your already existing conscience, is it true that I'm following this one, or there may be another one? There are other people claiming that Christianity is the solution, is the answer to human inquiry. The other people say the Buddhism is an inquiry. You have to search for it until you found something consistent. What the text says, what your conscience approves, without being again biased.
I understand that part. Now, what I'm trying to understand is how do you become aware that there must be such a speech in verbal form? Like,
so you aren't you now?
Yeah, like.
Okay, that's it. The case is closed. You are aware, I am aware. So let's speak about ourselves. We cannot speak about on behalf of other people who are completely in a different condition. So we don't know their situation. For example, can I play the role of, for example, a madman? No, I don't know how to be a man. I haven't experienced it. So I cannot speak. Yeah, you want to.
And this kind of goes off of her question. So we've been saying that the speech, the verbal speech, which claims to be the verbal speech of the creator of the universe, is not giving any additional or new information. So it's been in my mind, I'm kind of wondering about that, because in a way, my human feelings are wondering about this universe. Like we said on Wednesday, like there's this painting that is moving, there's like this, like a brush that's moving, and this universe is being painted momentarily. And I'm wondering, like, there has to be an artist or a painter that is the force acting on the things that are moving. So in a way, I feel like the Quran does offer something new that I wouldn't know without it, like, because it answers that question, like, yes, it speaks to my wonder in a way that says, it's me, I'm the one painting, I'm the one designing, I'm the one speaking. In a way, it
not extra. What the universe says, do you say them? It is a help, it is a guide. For example, I didn't know that there is a park. I'm new in New York, and here I wonder, people keep speaking of Manhattan. I came there, I heard this by hearing people talking about it. I don't know what they come here. I found nothing anyway. But they're just buildings. Yeah. So, and I came here. I wanted to have a rest and sit in a park. Now, look at this. My need for a park is with me. Yeah? And let's say in reality, there's a park there, in the reality. Yeah? And what I expect from a guide. This is a very common problem. I mean, we are representing 99% of the believers' society in this question. Now, what do I expect from the guide?
Tell me where the resting park is.
direct me to the park.
Yeah. Look, I need the park. It's there. The park is there. Guide is not giving anything else, apart from what realities are out there. But teacher helps me. For example, I think you are graduated from college. At least I don't know. You might have done further postgrad studies. I don't know that. It's not my business. Now, why did you go to school?
To learn.
No, to learn. To learn what? What is already in you? But you have to discover it. We discussed this matter several times, actually. Not many times, but several times. The difference between potentiality and ability. We forget it. It doesn't register because we don't see the importance of it. I'm not accusing. It's very important that potentially I am able to discover how for example, animal life is happening, or how the cells work, potentially. Or very simple example, my typical simple example, I am able to swim. It is potentially with me, right? But if I have not trained myself, I cannot swim. It's not my ability. Potentially I can swim, but I need training. So after being trained, this potentiality becomes operating in practical life. So do you think anything extra to my nature, extra to my creation, extra to the reality of the sea? And No, everything is there already. But I needed to learn in order to be able to practice it. Now, that's why people say that belief in God is for three. The Quran says, that Abraham introduced a belief system which is nothing more than the word fitra. It means your innate nature. It's what you are in. He's a teacher to teach you how to swim. But the ability or the potential ability to swim is within you. He just helps you to discover. That's why Quran describes itself as a guide, teacher.
I have another question in regards to interpretation of the Quran. Like a couple of weeks ago, we said that every scholar interprets the Quran according to their own life conditions and capacities. So someone who interpreted the Quran in the 15th century, that cannot be applied to someone from this century.
Not cannot, may not.
May not. But like,
because the sun is always there.
Here's my thing. By definition, we say the Quran is a universal message, meaning that everyone can get meaning from it. So it shouldn't matter to me if I am reading someone's interpretation from the 15th century. Here, I'm going to say why. Because everyone's life condition is different. So as long as I'm able to extract that message pertaining to my life condition, so
if you benefit from it, yes.
That would be.
But not imitate it. What is common? What is common among the believers society, among Jews, among Christians, among Muslims, as far as we know these monotheistic traditions, what they do, Jews say the rabbinic interpretation was like this, imitated. Christians says the saints described the teachings of Jesus in this way, imitated. Muslims say, because this great scholar said so, imitated. But what you said, bring it into your life conditions and apply it to your reality. That's what the prophets are there.
Isn't that what people are doing? I don't understand the whole imitation part. Isn't that what, anybody who reads a scripture, they try to relate it to their life conditions.
I don't know. It means you are not aware of what is going on in the believer's world. It was for you, because in this atmosphere, in these kind of discussions and classes, we keep seeing that we have to update. And you think that the people up there go and listen to, for example, a famous, well-known Muslim organization organizing one night or one day, one weekend training, go and listen to them. You will never hear what you heard here, what you are hearing here. Just completely saying that Rasulullah says so, it must be so. The mission of the Prophet, although it is not our subject, the mission of the Prophet establish the best example, as the Quran says, Uswatun Hasan, the best example within his own life conditions, so that you can take this best example according to his life conditions and apply it to your own conditions. You can. That's the mission of the prophethood. We have to understand that. Everything is the teacher, let's say a teacher who worked during 15th century and presented some sort of understanding of the message of the Quran, interpretation of the word. Can you accept the interpretation of the word by a physicist who lived in the 15th century and imitate it? Today, what do you have to do? Did you understand?
No,
or
I did not understand.
Well, you were not with us then. Now, look, your mind better. It's okay. My mind also goes somewhere else. Now, a physicist explained this word. The very famous, the best physicist explained what the physical reality of this world is in 15th century. Can you take this information and apply it today?
No.
What do you have to do?
You have to update it.
So update it, go further, go further, go further. That's what human beings are doing. So since you cannot do this in the subject of discipline of physics, how can you do it in the discipline of understanding the Quran, which is universal speech? The universe is universally exists, and your conscience also open to the universally existing the universe and interacting with the universe within your own conditions. So make it updated and learn from the teachers and apply it to our life. Even, for example, now you go to a teacher's class, you hear something, the teacher speaks according to what? According to conditions of this people, right? And what you have to do, you have to take it, go home, apply it to your own life conditions. Yeah? Because you cannot take it as you heard here, because everybody's problems are different. So we have to apply apply what we have learned today according to my life conditions. That's so simple.
I have
And
one.
we have to always update it according to our conditions. Yeah.
One last question. So like Sarah said that she went for post-graduation because she wanted to learn. Similarly, people study scriptures because they want to learn, right? I mean, I haven't been to any other places besides here, but aren't people learning scriptures to apply to their life conditions?
Yeah.
How can we say like they're imitating?
By imitating.
By imitating?
Yeah. Go and see. Generally.
What do you mean by imitation?
No,
Like they're
you said that you haven't been anywhere else, so I cannot explain it to you. Go and experience it.
Okay, so the teachers that are teaching us, we said the universe is demonstrating this message. My human feelings are definitely communicating some sort of message. And then we have scripture, which is communicating a message. So
Explaining or helping us how to get this meaning easily in a right way. So it's clean. We have to check. Yeah.
So the universe shows me that there has to be something that's the source of all of this, because it's so wisely made, it's so interconnected, it's so everything. And so my feelings are also like wondering and like in awe, like, wow, there has to be something, there has to be something.
Yeah.
Okay, so then scripture comes and in a way answers those questions saying, yes, there is something, it is me, I'm speaking to you. There's nothing you can imagine that's anything like me. So then I can say the Quran doesn't necessarily, or scripture offers something that the universe and my human feelings don't, because it answers the questions that my feelings and my thoughts need so desperately. In a way, it answers the question and offers security that the first two teachers don't offer. Can I say? So it's not that it necessarily gives me anything extra, because the universe and my feelings are already in alignment with that, but it answers the question that the first two teachers don't, and offers a sense of security to my
it is
existence.
there.
Okay, so
It is not extra, but helping is different. Teaching is different. But when you learn what is taught, it is already in you. That's not extra. It is just helping you to discover yourself, your potentiality. I think this goes against what you have been hearing, That's why it is difficult to digest. Without the guidance of the Quran, we cannot understand anything. And it is the Quran says, or it is teaching us, yes, in this sense, he is teaching me what I don't know. Now, for example, do I know how to swim? No, I don't. Right? But the potentiality to swim is with me. So somebody teaches me how to swim, then this potentiality becomes in action. Right? That is why, from one aspect, this person has not brought anything extra to my reality. Do you understand this? This person, this teacher, has not brought extra to my reality. It was already there. But it helped me to discover it, to practice it, to put. So the people think that's why the message of the Quran teaches us something extra. It is impossible. I think we don't have much time, but we have to emphasize on it. It is impossible. Why? If the message comes to me and offers me something which is not within my nature, I wouldn't know. I would deny it. I would not accept it. Why? I cannot. I have no tool for it. But as the teacher teaches me how to swim, I would not deny it. I cannot deny it because my reality is if you like, unfolding, unraveling, becoming in the practice. That's why the more I learn, the more I will be practicing how to swim. It means I will be convinced more because of my own ability. For example, can you teach me something which is not within my nature? Forget about it, your time.
You gave us the analogy of swimming, doctor. So the person who does not know how to swim, does he know that swimming exists?
Yeah.
He does. So the teacher is not saying there's a thing called swimming and I'm going to show you how to do it.
Yeah.
The student knows swimming exists.
So he feels the need for it. For example, when you are hungry, do you need to be taught that you are hungry, you have to eat? Unless you are a spoiled American child. They say, it is time to eat. Oh, come on, Mom. Come on, Mom. I was busy with his iPhone or iPad. So, because he's not hungry. Because he's not hungry. No one is hungry. Don't cheat yourself. So we are hungry spiritually. It means we don't really have any encouragement to feed the need of our human potentialities.
So belief exists and the guide.
What do you mean belief? Yeah, belief potentially exists.
Develops it, but it's already
yeah,
there.
Guide helps you to uncover it.
Uncover it. And you mentioned...
And also it wouldn't be alien to you. That's why it is important. If the message of the Quran or the speech of God is totally alien to you, how can you confirm it? Impossible. But when the teacher teaches you how to swim, if it is with swimming, ability to swim is within your potentiality, the more you learn, the more you are excited and confirm the teacher saying that what you are saying is true, what you are saying is true, good, I can do that. If I do this way, whatever.
So a person has belief. It's a vague inclination. And then the teacher, the guide makes it.
No, belief is the confirmation of the reality. As much as you learn, you know, after using your free will.
Yes,
Belief is more to do with your free will, whether you confirm it or reject it. belief is not extra to you, but you have the ability to deny it. So when you don't deny it, you confirm it. If you confirm it, that is called belief. Otherwise, the ability to believe is within you, potentially. What do we mean by belief? Belief really confirming the truth that you see. It's so simple. Belief is not extra as it is used in this common culture, as if you've got to have faith about what, no question. You've got to have faith extra. And it doesn't really confirm my reality because I have to have it blindly. Why? No, you have to trust. You have to trust. Trust what? So if you don't have any clue about the truthfulness of it, how can you trust?
I think the example throughout this book and in the previous book of the seed and of the light are very important to internalize. If it's a dark room and there's a chair in it and you don't see the chair, doesn't mean the chair is not there. It's just that the light is not helping you. Your light isn't there and you're not seeing it. Similarly, things are in front of you and you still say that I did not know it was there. And then someone's like, well, it's right in front of you. So it's that analogy. Similarly, the seed and the potential that we talk about is about this everything being there, the height of the tree, the qualities of the tree are all in the seed. It's about how someone tends to it, how they bring it to life.
So in reality, they all exist.
Exactly.
But they have to come into a physical world,
light.
But in the process of learning. So the revelation or the verbal explanation of God guides us how to learn what
it's
already
intellectual
exists.
illumination.
Sorry?
Like it's the illumination of my intellect or my
It means,
understanding.
I mean, use the example of swimming.
Right.
The more you learn from the teacher, you become more aware of the potentiality of swimming. But it's already there. It's a beautiful example. And also Quran describes himself as Nur, the light. It means really, you don't have to go and find it with your hand only, but it sheds light. You just see it easily. But it's already there. Yeah. That is the point that we have to understand. That everything is clear here, and extra verbal explanation is a teaching, it's a process of teaching. We need the teaching, but we should not expect from the teaching which will teach me, which is not within my nature, which doesn't really exist. I cannot approve it. That's what we have to understand. So I am discovering myself through the guidance of the verbal explanation. It is already within me. And what I have to do is, the most important thing I have to do, check how I am using my free will for what purpose. Yeah? Am I just looking for an excuse not to accept, not to submit to the truth? Or am I just ready to accept if I understand that in my own being, this is true, confirm it. That is the message we get. So last one is we have to go.
What extra benefit does the scripture brings to you?
What do you mean extra benefit? What do you mean? Yes, teacher gives you some benefit, but we said that scripture does not bring anything extra to your nature, to the nature of the universe. It's different from benefit. Why do you go and pay lots of money to the education system and get the training from them? Of course, that is benefit, but as far as the existence of reality is concerned, we don't expect anything extra from the scripture, what already exists in the universe, which means I have no excuse. If the scripture is from the creator of the universe, it must perfectly fit my nature and the nature of the creation out there. Nothing extra that, I don't know, but the scripture says so. That understanding blocks the way of imitation. So imitating means, I don't know, scripture says so, it must be so. I am not better qualified than God to know it. I am not better qualified than the prophet to know something. So whatever they say, I accept. Stupid. What do you mean? You have to train it. It means you go to the swimming class and say, the teacher said so, but don't practice it yourself. Don't put it into practice within your own capacity. Now, people said that you can swim. Have you practiced it within your own capacity? No. It means people said that human beings can swim. Okay. I say, okay, because teacher says so, human beings can swim, Have you practiced it yourself? That is the problem. If someone doesn't want to make the subject of belief for his own choice, just externalize it. What does it do? It takes the verbal explanation and also the signs in the universe into oblivion world. The Quran says so, Bible says so, something says so, it must be so, I don't know. I have to follow them. That's imitation. It is not belief. It is just laziness. You have to stop. Okay. I think today what we learned, everything is clear, but I have to watch out for my free will. Listen to yourself. Am I really being honest to myself? Or otherwise, the universe, your potentiality or conscience gives you the truth. Don't worry. And verbal explanation also a guide, a help. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم آخر دعواهم الحمد لله رب العالمين